Hello, I'm Tim Sandle and I'm a pharmaceutical microbiologist, and welcome to my 6th video in the series about all things related to coronavirus. Now, the video last time looked at coronavirus testing and vaccines, and you can find that and my previous videos on my YouTube channel, so please subscribe to get the latest information. Today's topic is about where coronavirus originated from, whether it was created in a laboratory deliberately, as the President of the United States appears to believe, or whether the virus came to infect people naturally through zoonotic transfer. Now, to be clear from the outset, there is no evidence that the virus was artificially created in a laboratory. So my view is that it's time to take those conspiracy theories and store them in the box labelled fake moon landings. This novel coronavirus sweeping the world was not genetically engineered, and it is of natural origin, which I'll come on to discuss. So to paraphrase President Trump, this is fake news. So what some politicians have been asserting, and importantly virtually no scientists, was that the coronavirus was being studied in Wuhan, and then it escaped or leaked due to poor biosafety protocols, or even more unbelievable, that it was deliberately created as a biological warfare weapon. This is without any evidence. So how do scientists know this? Well, this is based on a series of the analysis of genome sequences, looking at data relating to the novel coronavirus, which, just to remind everyone, is called SARS-CoV-2, and comparing that to similar coronaviruses. And this analysis reveals that there is no evidence whatsoever that the virus was bioengineered in a laboratory or has undergone any kind of genetic modification. So the scientists have studied, and this is in different laboratory settings, the current coronavirus against samples responsible for the 2003 SARS epidemic in China. So this was the severe acute respiratory syndrome virus of the early 2000s. They've also compared this with the 2012 virus isolated in Saudi Arabia, the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome virus, or MERS. And virologists have proceeded to study the genetic template for the current novel coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, looking at the spike proteins in particular. So these are the apertures on the outside of the virus that happen to give a crown-like appearance, and hence the term coronavirus. And the virus uses these armatures to lock onto and to penetrate the outer walls of cells. And the focal point of the research was to look at two key features of these spike proteins, called the receptor binding domain, or RBD. And this is a specialist type of grappling hook that latches onto host cells. And also to look at the cleavage site, which enables the coronavirus to unlock and enter into host cells. Now, further study of the RBD portion shown that it has evolved so it can target something specific to human cells called the ACE2. And this is the receptor which regulates blood pressure. And all this understanding has enabled researchers to conclude that the development with the coronavirus is the consequence of natural selection and not the result of genetic engineering. Additional evidence to support this assertion derives from the analysis of the overall molecular structure of the virus. And with this, the SARS-CoV-2 virus backbone differs significantly from previous coronaviruses known to infect humans. And in fact, the molecular structure of the novel coronavirus more closely resembles viruses found in bats and in pangolins, which are kind of like an anteater type creature. And it's bats to pangolins to humans, which is generally at this point regarded as the main transmission route for the coronavirus. Now, had the virus been artificially created, then the developers of such a virus would have used a virus already known to have infected humans and modified this in order to increase infectivity or severity. Why would you take a virus that's unproven at that point to be able to infect humans? So there are several research papers on this subject, and as always, I always encourage viewers to go away and read these things for yourself. You should never take everything anyone says, including me, at face value. So go to Nature Medicine and look for a paper called The Proximal Origin of SARS-CoV-2. Now, there have also been discussions that the virus has mutated. And there's new evidence looking at this from the Medical Research Council in the UK, together with the University of Glasgow. And these studies have concluded that there is no evidence that the SARS-CoV-2 virus has mutated into different forms. And this research has been published in the journal Virus Research. So again, something you can have a look at. Now, this finding is important because there has been discussion, particularly in the media, that there is more than one type of SARS-CoV-2 circulating during this current period of pandemic. Furthermore, there have been discussions that one strain is more aggressive than another in terms of triggering greater severity of the COVID-19 illness. Now, research published in the journal Virus Evolution indicates that there is only one strain circulating. Now, viruses do naturally accumulate mutations in relation to their genetic sequence, and this happens as a virus moves through different populations. But these mutations do not have any impact on the viral biology, and hence they don't appear to affect the aggressiveness of diseases caused. Now, specifically with SARS-CoV-2, the novel virus of concern, the detected mutations are not likely, virologists are currently of the view of, to have any functional significance. And also, to be clear, these small mutations do not represent different virus types. And the analysis that's been undertaken as to what the viral mutations in relation to SARS-CoV-2 might entail, so they're looking specifically at amino acid replacements, insertions and deletions, has been drawn from an analysis of 7,237 mutations. So while this is a big number, it actually represents a very low rate of evolution for this type of RNA virus. So the message I'd like to convey here is that people should not be concerned about virus mutations. These are normal and expected as a virus passes through the general population. And while mutations have occurred with the coronavirus, these are not sufficient to trigger a different strain, and they are not sufficient to affect the aggressiveness of the virus. So that's the second point. The first point, just to recap, was that there is no evidence whatsoever that the virus has been artificially created or that it escaped from a researcher laboratory. This virus is a natural one that's made the zoonotic jump. So that's it for this video. Please check out my other videos in the series on coronavirus. They are available on my YouTube channel, so please click subscribe and you'll get automatic notifications to the next videos that I make. So I'm Tim Sandle, and until next time, stay safe.